Hey YouTube. Well, first of all, let me just give a public apology to Mr. Lion's Ground from Marbella in Spain for putting his video on my channel. So let's put that in the ground. He did though say that we should share it everywhere and spread it like an unstoppable virus, and I took that up, but I have been looking at the video because I have the video on my laptop downloaded, and thankfully I didn't delete it. And I want you to go to minute marker 4 minutes and 30 seconds and keep an eye on the object and see what happened with that particular cloud. And that kind of all set it in perspective that this video is not true. Well, I am here on 155, Texas 155, and I am going south in Texas. I'm on my way to Thailand, and I thought, like many others have done, that it would be a good idea to take a picture out on the water, because it can be very difficult to see anything when you just take pictures of the sun. But when you take reflection on water, it actually does something else with the light. This one over there, we can clearly conclude that that is the lens flare. And they always look like that, especially on iPhones. But this picture is not taken with an iPhone. This is taken with a 5 megapixel camera on a phone called CTE675 Majesty. A piece of crap phone, but a damn good camera. I got a new phone now, Samsung Galaxy S4, and it got a 15 megapixel camera on it. And I hope to get some pretty decent pictures out of that. But yeah, it got auto zoom or auto focus. It got all kinds of good. I'm sitting at a truck stop in Matthews, Missouri right now, so excuse me the noise. It's actually pretty annoying, so I guess I'll have to sit here and sweat a little. It's a little warm in here because the truck has been running all night. Well, nevertheless, on this frame here, something is showing up in the picture that I'm not entirely clear about what is, but I'm pretty sure that that dot there above the reflection from our own sun right there, that is not a lens flare, and it's not a reflection of something else. It is something that is in the vicinity of the sun, because the long streak, as you see here right there, is definitely from the setting sun. But this object here, this I suspect, can't prove it, but I feel pretty comfortable or confident to say that that is the object that we have in mind, which is the nemesis, or the brown dwarf system, which have a planet orbiting it, which is called Nibiru. Nibiru is not the brown dwarf, it is a planet that orbits this brown dwarf system. And we have to remember that according to Never a Straight Answer, also abbreviated to NASA, 80% of all known stars is a binary solar system. So let's go to the next frame. Here we got a picture from his video, and the reason for why I say his video is untrue, I don't know what he caught here, except I believe it's the moon, or it is something he put in himself. Can't prove that. But if we have an object of a brown dwarf at that size on our sky at this moment in time, or actually this is from the 18th of January 2016, timestamp is 7:03. If we have an object, brown dwarf, this big on our horizon, we will all be in serious trouble. I mean all of us. Everyone on the planet will feel the agony from the planet itself we're living on. I mean earthquakes, sinkholes, floodings, all kinds of bad stuff. And the sky would not look like this. I got another frame there. I want to point out, if you can see it over here, or just on the original, this brown dwarf star is shrouded in a cloud of dust. When it appears on the sky for us to see, it will appear like a winged disk, meaning that this dust that is dragging with it due to its gravitational pull is creating two tails that is sticking out from 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock on the dial, and it will look like it's a winged disk, period. You will not be able to see the surface of this planet or this star crisp and smooth. It will look on to you if you're looking at the embers of a fireplace. It is not clear, it is not shiny, it actually looks like a flat color. It will kind of look fuzzy. It will not have a smooth appearance like our moon have a smooth appearance with the naked eye. It don't have a smooth appearance when you look at it through a telescope, and you can see all the bumps and stuff. But don't worry, if you can see Nibiru with a, or not Nibiru, if you can see the brown dwarf star with a telescope, you will probably do your last recording of it. Yeah, you get my point. You would be in deep trouble. You wouldn't even think about going out looking at it like that. And again, here we see on the frame that it's having a very smooth and almost kind of like a polished surface. The brown dwarf do not look like that. End of story. Here I got a picture from somewhere, I think it's Illinois. Illinois is particularly bad when it comes to chemtrailing at sunset. It goes for Indiana too, it goes for Michigan, especially Michigan. Man, they're getting hammered. Well, I wanted to point something out here that Steve Oleson was talking about. I'm actually going on a show with him, and I'm looking very forward to that, Steve. And I sent you an email with my phone number and my Zoom video account conference, video conference. I have it as an app, and I would like us to test it before we try going on the air here on Friday, because I really want to talk about this. You were talking about red skies, and you were showing a very compelling image on the video regarding red skies, where an astronaut has taken some pictures from the International Space Station, and you also showed some live images from that fly around our planet, which is round, not flat, people. The Earth is a ball, like everything else out there is round, like a ball. I mean, come on, you flat earthers. Oh man, you make me pretty upset, but let's leave that be. Well, as you see, the sun is pretty much right there in the middle, and you see this outline or outbreaking of very red light. That is something, now that I'm driving all over the country, not for so long anymore, because I would like to be home now. So I'm driving on some of my last trips now, so there won't be any of these fabulous driving videos anymore. It was fun, and if you can go back on some of those videos where I'm driving, there you will see that out in the horizon on the opposite side of the sun, meaning if the sun is in the south, I will be going north, and there you can see that there is this red horizon, this pinkish reddish hue in the lower part of the horizon. And that light you see there is that light reflected back to Earth of this red dust which is in our space, which is being dragged in from our oncoming brown dwarf star. And then you will say, well, if we have to have the dust like that, then the planet is, or the brown dwarf has already passed us very close by and dragging this debris tail after it. Well, that's not entirely correct. The solar wind is spewing out solar wind at 24/7 at a very, very high velocity. But at the same time, we are also having energies coming from our cosmos, winds, forces, electromagnetic forces, which is actually hurtling around dust and whatever is left over from dying stars or from exploded literally planets. Our solar system, our universe is not entirely peaceful. There's a lot of things going on in our space. And I actually have a link for a PDF file regarding binary solar systems. And those links are on the latest uploads. Well, I'll put it in this video too for you to see, because you need to read that. It's only 49 pages, but it's big letters, so it will be fast read through. But when you read that, you will understand what is really going on out there. You have a very clear understanding of it. It's not so difficult to understand what you're reading, honestly. It's not so NASA-like technical. It is technical, but I'm pretty sure you will understand what you're reading. Pretty sure. And I do. So we are flying through all kinds of dust in our atmosphere. And even the dust coming from the brown dwarf star is being spread out like a thin sheet in our space. And it's taking other directions other than following the solar wind. It's also following the pressure and the gravitational forces there is in our universe coming from our galaxy, as an example. And Earth has a gravitational pull on itself, and some of that dust left behind from the brown dwarf, which is now have already passed through Earth's orbit and is coming around our sun, and it's coming back out again. And it is when it's coming back out again, at some point in time, I believe in this year, we will be able to see it, and they will not be able to hide it anymore. And I have proven to you beyond reasonable doubt that the chemtrails are a part of a cloaking system. How they can hide what is in our sky and change colors. They can literally paint an image in our sky, and you will believe what you see, and you will believe it's the truth. But watch out, see to you're not deceived. And I got another picture here. This is from the days of Oleson, the extinction level event. Nibiru is near. Well, this was in the days of Oleson's flyby, and this was in Plainfield, Indiana. I was living in Indiana at that point in time. Now I'm living in Texas. Thank goodness. They're spraying less down there, and I feel right at home there. and I feel like I'm in America. It's not an insult to the rest of America, but up there in the northeast states, that's a different mentality. And to be honest, I don't like it. I just don't. Okay, here's a picture from New Jersey. This is a friend on Facebook called Gina, and she took this picture, and I stole it. Bad boy, Henning. You stole a picture. She don't mind. She's also pretty annoyed with all this spraying, but you can see here, man, wow. Oh, man, they're being bombed. I don't remember what year this is from. It doesn't matter. It pretty much illustrates how bad it is in the northeast part of the United States. And this is my picture from Sherman, Texas. Remember, there's a copyright on it. Oh, and I will strike you with a copyright if you don't ask for permission. No, I'm not. Feel free to use the image if you want to. I don't mind, not at all. But here we clearly see that there is something out there to the left of the sun in the sunrise. And, well, Pierre Broussard, who is now the mastermind of the Nibiru research, claims that this is just a reflection. Well, I respectfully agree to disagree with you on that. This is the brown dwarf. Guaranteed. So it's out there somewhere on its way in. And this is somewhere in North Carolina where I saw something peculiar with the chemtrails. It was acting strange. And yeah, that is the sun, that big splotch up there. And this is what I call the canopy clouds. Very thin, paper-thin cloud sheets that the sun sometimes can't even shine through. And that is what they can do with the chemtrails. They can completely obliterate the sun, even though that these clouds that you're seeing are thin, very, very thin. And you've seen them tons of times. How they are lingering around by the sun, like they're motionless. They're following the sun. They're not changing shape either. They just stay stationary, making sure that the sun is being blocked. And regarding that sun being blocked, you women out there, and this is only for the women, many of you feeling pain in your body. Yeah, I'm smoking a cigarette. I'm not cracking open a beer. Not allowed to drink beer when you're on the road. Ridiculous. You can't drink a beer for your dinner. Stupid. But that's DUT for you. Bunch of Nazis. Well, dear ladies, you are feeling a lot of pain out there these days. And the reason for that pain that you're feeling is because for over a decade now, the chemtrails have been blocking you from the essential rays coming from our sun. All human beings and animals, all living things on the planet is connected to our sun, because the sun is the basis of our existence. Interesting, right? And the chemtrails have been blocking the D3 vitamin processing in our atmosphere, which is making people sick and weak in the immune system. And another factor too is that these beneficial rays coming from our sun has been effectively blocked by the chemtrails. So over a long time you've been deprived from this life-giving rays coming from our sun. And now that the brown dwarf has come in, this sheet of chemtrails is no longer efficient to block out that particular radiation coming from the sun that is beneficial to us. And it's now broken down if you understand. And now you're getting what you need from our sun. And now your body is falling back to its normal. And that is associated with a lot of pain in your bodies. And this new phenomenon is called fibromyalgia. And they got all kinds of nasty medicine for that, which I suggest you stay away from, especially Lyrica, which they're advertising for. Because Lyrica can give you suicide thoughts. Man, they're selling products that can make you go kill yourself. That is interesting, what you're saying. Very interesting. Well, Big Pharma is not out to find cures, they're out to find new customers. That's how they make their money. So that's the answer to that. And let's just jump over to a little slideshow here. This is in Mexico, as you can probably figure out. And we have a sunset coming up. It is 16:01 on this frame, right? You can already see the sun is up in the left corner, way up there. And you can see that the reflection of the red dust that is surrounding our planet in space being reflected back to us, and that is that red horizon that I'm talking about, or what Steve Oleson is calling the red skies. You clearly see it here, frame for frame, how the light is reflected. And remember, the sun is still up, way up there in the left corner. So we are already being surrounded by this dust, iron oxide, which it is. And Steve Oleson asked me if we can talk about red dust, and I said yes, we can, because I'm driving out there, as I said earlier, every day. And every day, except when it's a rainy day, but when it's a cloudy day or a chemtrail day, I am always in any direction that I'm looking, but it's particular in the north because that's where the sunlight is pretty much focusing directly down through our planet. I see this red horizon, and I know what it is. The question is, are you willing to believe what I'm saying? I hope you are, because I'm not telling you any lies, and I'm not going to make a fake video at any point in time, because I am for you, brothers and sisters. I am here to do my best to help you, inform you, and hopefully, you never know, I'll meet you out there when we're all trying to stay alive after calamity. But at this point in time, which I would think you would need to do, is get some water, get some of those so-called life straws. You see the sky right there, how flaming it is in the bottom? Well, get some life straws where you can go to a pond and stick that straw down into the water and then drink the water and get clean water. I got some life straws at home that I bought, and each life straw I have can suck up 400 gallons of water before I have to discard it. And 400 gallons of water is pretty much, it's a lot of water. It can keep you going for a while. You see, if you don't get any water in 48 hours, temperatures, which I suspect would be pretty high because of the interaction with the brown dwarf and what else is going on in our world, that will lead to a lot of dehydration. And if you don't get water in a period of 48 hours, walking a mile for you would be an agonizing experience, and I can assure you, you will die. it'll be the end for you. If you don't get food for a week, then you're going downhill. And then you're going downhill fast. But most importantly, water. And it might sound gross to you, but the most important food source for you in a survival mode out there is protein. It's not so much the minerals and the vitamins, it's protein, because the protein is what is keeping your cells alive and functioning. So you will have to do something that you find is nasty, but you want to give yourself a little chance while you're looking for a real live animal you can shoot and cook and eat. I would suggest you eat some worms and some beetles and all kinds of insects that is not toxic, of course, because they're giving and providing you with a large amount of protein that will ensure your cells functioning, because your cells is what is making your whole body function, because your whole body is comprised of cells and you've got billions of them. And all of the cells, if you're not getting your protein supplement in your diet, all the cells are communicating with each other. So when one cell is saying, I'm not doing too well because I'm not getting the energy I need, meaning I don't get amino acids, I don't get protein, which is the foundation of the amino acids, all the other cells is responding to that and coming with the exact same expression. And then you will fall sick. And then you will die. It's that simple. And these elitist bastards, they know that. That's why they're busy polluting our planet, to make sure as many of us don't make it on the other side. Because they already know the brown dwarf is coming. They've been knowing that for, let's just say down the centuries. They're definitely aware that this thing is real, because they have the access to history, which we don't have access to, the true knowledge of our origin and our history, because history is always written by the victorious. So there will be parts of the history which will be left out from what is reality. But if you go look at the ancient texts, I have a video called the Nibiru Scrolls where I'm reading off from the Egyptians' account of this incoming brown dwarf, which took place during the Exodus. And that is pretty much consistent with, that Egypt was struck by disaster and plagues. But it's not detailed described in the Bible, because it's not necessary for the meaning of the story in the book of Exodus. But the Egyptians had a huge problem with their land. It was being destroyed, and it caused the Egyptians to cast out all their demonic gods, because they found out that the God of Abraham was much more powerful than their demon gods. And it completely destroyed the entire foundation of the existence of the dynasty of Egypt. They were completely annihilated. And they pretty much after that left their demonic faith, or the worship of the devil after that. It did not turn out too good for them, by any means. But it's been written down up through history. You can find the writings on the petroglyphs, which is writing on rocks. And they're warning us. speaking to us in a language that is difficult to understand. But all of the petroglyphs are showing beings of demonic nature. They're showing us death and calamity, and they are all pointing to the sky, and they're showing a spiral in the sky. I'm not talking about the Norway spiral. That was just some test project of some sort. And Obama happened to be in Norway at that point in time, but it has a significance. But they are warning us. There are images, paintings that is depicting up in the more modern era of stuff in the sky. And Mother Shipton is pretty adamant too. She's saying a fiery dragon across the sky 5 times and this earth shall die. That is what the Asians are calling. In Korea they call it the fiery dragon. In China they call it the red dragon. It's also depicted in Japan. I don't know what they call it over there, honestly. It's also depicted in the Bible, being called the destroyer in Isaiah. And it has many names, but we're talking about the same object. And it's time now for us to experience it. And we're now living in a time where knowledge is within a fingertip, meaning you have a device on your hand you're carrying around with you at all times, where you can gain a lot of knowledge. But at the same time knowledge is increased, wisdom is dropping like flies. And that is because the truth is being withheld from you. Because if you really knew the truth, these demon worshipping bastards we call the Bilderbergers today, they will not be able to maintain the power grip that they have over humanity as they have right now. And all the things that is going on here on planet Earth is just signs of the times. It is what is talked about in Luke 21. It is also what is talked about in Matthew 24. And you can pretty much read the rest of the direct description of what will happen here on Earth in the Revelation. So we've been warned. We have been warned 2,000 years ago that in this particular time we're living in now, all these things will come to pass. And as I've said a million times now, you need to get that through your thick skull, people. Stop being so much in denial, especially you, Igor Kostelat. This is for you, so send this video over to him, please, by all means. You have seen a video called, what is it called? Pet. This cartoonish video. What is it called? My Pet Goat. Yeah, something like that. And you have determined in your mind that because of that video you saw there, Jesus is evil. Well, dear Igor, the representation of this guy coming down is not Jesus. And if it is, it's a wrong depiction of Jesus Christ. You see, the devil, Lucifer, he's turning everything upside down. He's flipping everything around to make it seem like that everything that is good is evil, and what is evil is good. That's his plan, and most people are falling for that crap, unfortunately. And today we are suffering here in America from something called political correctness. to hell with political correctness. I urge you, dear Americans out there, speak your mind. Always speak your mind. Share your opinions, because out of opinions we get debate and we get change. But when you have political correctness, we all end up in the same booth, and that is where everybody thinks the same and feels the same. And that is exactly what the New World Order system wants from us. That is, that there is no diversity, that we are all the same. Dear ego, Jesus Christ is our Savior. He loves you. And He's asking all of us to come to Him by our own free will. There is no condition in that. And what He said before He left after His resurrection, the disciples asked Him, "What should we do when you're gone?" And He said that we should go out into the world and spread the gospel. And He also said something else. He said to us, "Love one another like I have loved you." Now, if Jesus was evil, would He encourage the disciples to go out into the world and spread His wisdom and to love one another? That sounds like love right there, because that is love right there. I am so sorry that you're that easy to manipulate by what you see on YouTube. That is sad. And I encourage you to read the book of Matthew. Start with that. Please, just start with that. Read it. Read Luke. Read Revelation. And maybe, just maybe, you will come to the conclusion that Henning was right. And I am actually glad that he told me about that. Because the pet goat video is an Illuminati production. And it's a production that is put out there for us to see and to be lied to. And that's what the devil does. He's turning everything upside down. He makes every good deed look bad and every bad deed look good. And I can assure you that Jesus Christ will not associate Himself with a giant pyramid, which is the symbol of Illuminati. And Illuminati do not worship God. They worship Lucifer, who is the evil one. Pay attention to his tattoos now that he is rising up there and destroying all these men below him. He's got this all-seeing eye on him. He's got this pyramid on him, which is the symbol of the devil. And Jesus is not the devil. He's your Savior. And He loves you. And all He wishes you do, and that is you follow Him, believe upon Him. And you call upon Him when you are in most need. And you shall be saved. That's a promise He gave you. That's a big promise. And He's going to keep it. Because He don't lie. The devil lies. Always. He's mixing truth with lies. And when you have a story where there is just a tiny tidbit of lie in that story, the rest of the story, even though it's true, becomes a lie. And that's one of the means of manipulation and mind control that the devil is using to take us away from our Lord, who is calling upon us to stand up for Him. Because He loves us. So I sincerely hope, because I really respect the hard work you're doing out there to prove and show us that there is something in space, which is the brown dwarf. You're doing splendid work, except one thing: you need to mind your language. Don't use all these nasty words. Speak plain English and explain what you see, but don't use these, F words, and, because if you don't use cuss words in your video productions, you will attract a lot more audience, because I'm pretty sure many people will know about this in themselves, but I have it like this. If I see a YouTuber sitting and having some good material, and every second word or in every sentence he's talking that he is saying fuck this and fuck that, I shut the video off. I don't want to listen to it, because foul language is not communication. It doesn't invite anyone in. It actually repels people. And there's a lot of YouTubers that have some good stuff, but they have a foul language. Marka Electric, you should mind your mouth too. You're good. You're doing some really good stuff. But man, your language. Whew. That's bad stuff. Man, you should have had some more whipping in your butt when you were a child for speaking like that. If I was your dad, you would have the belt, that's for sure. My kid would not talk like that to me, or to anyone. That's just how I am. That's how I'm brought up. I'm brought up not to cuss. And once in a while I slip my tongue and cuss, and then I have my dear beautiful wife, Elma, almost slapping me over the back head and saying, what did you just do there? You don't need to use that kind of words. And she's right. In many cases women are right, because they think twice over what they're doing, where men is just more impulsive and just run straight into it and let's see what comes out of it. In many cases, nothing good comes out of it. But once in a while, a swift decision needs to be taken, not sit to be dwelled upon for hours like women can do. But it's okay. We come this far, thousands of years of existence here on this planet, and we're still around, so I guess the symbiotic relationship between the man and the woman has been fruitful. We're still here, So, dear ego, don't use all the nasty words in your videos. And by my encouragement, and I'm pretty sure our Lord would love that too, is read Luke, read Matthew, read Revelation, and it will give you a very good idea how much Christ loves you, and you really wish the best for you. And that movie, Pet Goat, I would like you to look at it like you've never seen it before, because it is a complete misinterpretation of everything. It's this downright nasty video. There's a lot of symbolism in it, but all the symbolism in it pertains to the devil, Lucifer. Not to love, not to mercy, not to grace, not to hope. It's all about destruction, annihilation. And that's what Lucifer is out to do, destroy everything. It's that simple. Well, I love you, all of you out there, even my enemies. But again, I'm sorry, Lion's Ground, for putting your video by encouragement by you on my channel. It's not on my channel anymore, and I'm glad it's not. And again, your €1,000 you wanted to bet with me, you can still wipe your behind with them, because I don't want your money. I got money enough. And most important thing is, I have love in my life, and love makes the world go round, not money. That's just an illusion. No, love is. Because if money made the world go round, we wouldn't be here anymore. We're here today, breathing, living, sharing, because of love. Love between two human beings that decided to have a child together. And they were unified into one flesh by our Lord as a witness. Our testimony to share our life with this person standing next to you. It's a very beautiful promise. And unfortunately, too many people today is getting divorced, not solving the problems that they have. It's much easier just to slam the door and walk away and have to start all over in your life. And if you really look at it, many of the problems that marriages have is problems that is easy to solve. That is there where pride comes in often. Who's right and who's not. I mean, just because you lose a discussion don't mean you are a loser. It's not always about winning. Sometimes it's about compromise. And for a much higher purpose, that is, you remain together because you've been unified, bonded into one flesh in the sight of our Lord, because that was the promise that you gave, and that's a promise you have to keep. You know, for better and for worse, sickness and in health, until death do us part. That's the promise. And that promise is something you're giving the Lord, not your wife or your husband. And if you refrain from that, and you're not serious enough about it, it's pretty much the same as lying. And lying is a bad thing. Thou shalt not bear false witness. No one really likes to be lied to by anybody. It hurts, especially if a loved one lied to you. It hurts tremendously. Life is not easy. It never was. But we can make the best of it. I sincerely hope you will try to do that. And let's just try to love each other. Okay, Lion's Ground? I love you as a brother. But your video is not Nibiru. It's something else. Either you manipulated it or it's the moon and you gave it a little color. Because the brown dwarf don't look like that. Brown dwarf will look like a fuzzy ball with wings. You can't see its surface because it's shrouded in dust. Iron oxide, which is extremely toxic, which is going to pollute this planet significantly. And we are seeing it already now, the red dust in the horizon. I don't have a day or an hour because I really don't know, but it won't be long. It won't be long. Within a year, well, maybe we're too busy staying alive within that year to keep our eye on the sky, looking for this brown dwarf system. Don't know, but I know it's coming, and it's here soon, for all to see. Over and out. God bless you.